All right, Arrowsmith Baptist Church, it's time for another video update, and I thought I'd do another walkthrough through the church because things are happening, things are changing, and just want to sort of point out a few things to you. So, first of all, I'm here in front of this donation table with all these amazing jams made by Pam, I believe. I think they are all made by her, and it's a fundraiser. And this fundraiser is for Mercy Touch Ministries, an amazing charity that helps underprivileged children in Africa, and it's run through Pastor Bernard McQuavi's family. It's sort of their mission that they began. So great purpose and great jam. So I'm going to encourage you to buy some. You can just come into the church. It's all displayed here. Come and pick up what you want, and there's a donation jar. Just leave a donation for how much you think you'd like to leave. My favorite is the orange lemon marmalade. I highly recommend it. If you like marmalades, you're going to love this one. There's also dishcloths here that you can get as well. Looks like they're handmade dishcloths. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. Now I'm going to take you to the other end of the church and show you something else that has been not a fundraiser, but sort of a community outreach. All right, well, my first question is, do you know where I am? Some of you might, but I bet a lot of you have no idea where I am. It looks like I'm in a closet. Well, I am in it is a storage room at the back of the church. It's a sort of a mechanical room. It's on the other side of the family washroom on that end of the church. I came here because there is a freezer here, and I'm going to show it to you quickly. Here is the deep freeze. And I just want you to take a look inside there and see that it is mostly empty, but there are a few things down there. Now, why would I show you that? Well, I'm showing you that because at points in time, there's a lot of cookies in here. And I discovered this some time ago, but right now there's no cookies in here, and much to my dismay, but that's okay. And I just wanted to point out the fact that the deaconesses and other volunteers and friends of friends who don't even attend this church have been baking cookies. And they have been baking a lot of cookies. And cookies are being used through this group, through the deaconesses, and through their coordination of these cookie bakes to reach out to our community. And you know, what says we're thinking about you, we care about you, and we like you more than cookies? So they've been distributing cookies to all different kinds of groups, everything from people in our church to other groups out there in the community, and it has been hugely appreciated. And I understand that they have distributed close to somewhere between 7,000 and 10,000 cookies since they began this. That is amazing, and that has obviously brightened a lot of people's days because a lot of these cookies are targeted for people who kind of need some brightening up in their day. So I just wanted to point that out because I think it's so amazing that this is being done, and deaconesses and everybody else who's been involved in this, good on you. What a great way to just be goodwill and love within our community. So cookies, they do it. And thanks for all of that effort, and I certainly have gotten a few of those cookies down my own mouth as well, and thank you for that too. All right, I'm going to walk into the sanctuary next, and we're going to take a look at a few things in there, okay? Okay, so here I am in the sanctuary, and so a couple of things I wanted to point out to you. You've probably noticed over the past few weeks, if you've been watching our services, that we had the cross placed front and center there in the sanctuary, right in front, or actually right behind of the person who's speaking. And we've left it there for the past few weeks, and it's still there today. It might get moved today, I'm not actually sure. But we've left it up for a couple of reasons. One, of course, it was Easter. We thought, well, it's an amazing backdrop. Let's leave it up for another week or two. And the other thing is that it actually works as a really good backdrop for filming. And you might have even noticed that if you've been watching the services with last few weeks with someone standing in front of the cross there preaching. It makes a really nice backdrop right behind them, and it just works. The other thing I wanted to point out is that you can see in front of the cross there, okay, on this side, there's a music stand in front of it, and that people have been speaking from the music stand. And Sean spoke from the music stand last week. I spoke from the music stand the week before. Part of the reason is because that cross is actually moved pretty far forward, and you can't fit the pulpit, and you can actually see the pulpit off in this side, right? There it is, back in that corner there. There's the pulpit. It's just been moved to the side for the time being. And it doesn't really fit in front of the cross. There's just actually not enough room to fit them both in there comfortably without tripping over things. So we've just gone to a smaller music stand. Now, I'm going to just mention to you, you might have even noticed when the pulpit was front and center, that when I spoke, I actually had, you may or may not have noticed this, I had a music stand even behind the pulpit. And so I was behind the pulpit, but I actually in front of me was a music stand. So I actually wasn't preaching off of the pulpit with my notes and whatnot. I was preaching from a music stand just behind the pulpit. So on the film, it kind of looks like I'm preaching from the pulpit, but I'm actually not. So why am I doing that? So I should explain that to you, because that's a little bit odd. And it has to do with these right here, my glasses. I wear a pair of glasses that actually have triple zones. So it's like trifocals, really. There's 3 zones in my glasses, and the bottom zone is the smallest one, and it's the one that I use for reading. And then the mid zone is sort of like an arm length distance, like a computer screen might be, and then the top zone is distance. So when I'm preaching, I really would like to preach and read from the bottom zone and get the notes close enough to me so that they're in the reading zone. When I use the pulpit, back over there, it is actually right between the 2 zones. It doesn't quite get into my reading zone, and it doesn't quite get far enough away to be in my longer distance zone, which would probably be considerably too far away. So it's stuck. The height of that pulpit for me is stuck right between my 2 zones, and it just makes it really difficult for me to read. In fact, really difficult for me to read. It was a perfect height for Leland. It's kind of been designed for him, but if you get me behind it, particularly with my glasses situation, it doesn't work so good. Sean, of course, is considerably taller than me, so it's kind of far away for him. And then if like this Sunday, Andrew is speaking. It's a good height for him, maybe even too tall for him. So a music stand is a lot easier to adjust, is what I'm saying. So I would stand behind the pulpit, and the appearance of the pulpit would still be there, and I would have a music stand, and I would just raise it up high enough so that I can get it comfortably into my zone and comfortably read my notes, and that's how it works for me. So you'll probably see that we're going to experiment with this a little bit. As long as the cross stays up, we kind of have to go with the music stand because the pulpit doesn't fit. Once the cross gets moved back again, we will we'll probably put the pulpit back front and center. And George is actually even thinking of making a little bit of a different extension for the top of the pulpit that would actually help me to put my notes right in the zone that they need to be. But until then, a music stand suffices really well. They're very adjustable, and that works for me. So that's what's happening there. We're not trying to get rid of the pulpit or anything like that. It just needs some adjustments, and we're just sort of working between and sort of experimenting around, trying some different things. And again, going online just changes the perspective of what we're trying to do up here. Suddenly we're more of a studio for broadcasting than we are an auditorium for congregational gathering. So things get moved around. And that's the next thing I wanted to point out to you, is that this Sunday you're going to see a little bit of a different arrangement. We're going to bring the worship team closer together. As it has been, we spread them out on 2 sides of the pulpit. And for a live congregation, that works fine. But for filming, it makes us do a super wide angle shot to try to get everybody in there. The people are really small, and it's making us get things in the shot that we don't necessarily want in the shot. So if we bring people together closer, and certainly we want to keep the respectable distances and the required distances, but Cal and Andrew can be close to each other. They're married, so it doesn't matter for them. They can get quite close to each other. We're going to bring them closer together so that we can get a better zoom in on everybody and a tighter screen where we'll have everybody fitted in a better way. So that you're probably going to see that change this Sunday. And again, that's just us trying to constantly adjust to our new circumstances, where we've not done this before, right? This is not what we've normally done in this building on this stage. So now we're finding that we're having to do some stage resets, some shuffling around of people, and we might even start to do little bits of stage resets in between sort of scenes as we work our way way through the service in the morning. So you might even see someone come through Sunday morning as we're broadcasting our service, and they might move a pulpit in and then out again, or whatever we need to sort of get everything set up properly for viewing on screens at home rather than live to an audience. All right, so one last thing I'm going to show you in the sanctuary here, and then we're going to move outside quickly. All right, before I take you to the corner of the sanctuary to show you where we do our children's stories from, I just wanted to show you some of these images, or not images, they're buildings. They do have images attached to them. These are the builders of these little bits of Jeremiah's wall. So there's the first one that's come into us, and then we got a couple of Lego projects. Lego is, of course, an amazing thing for kids to build with. Here's the second one. You can see them climbing all over the wall, working on it. And there we go. And there's our builder there. And then our last one is also made out of Lego. And I particularly like the red top on this one. That's kind of cool. And then sort of the green in the middle. It's got sort of these stages of colors or levels of colors. That's a pretty cool one too. So there we go. Well done, guys. Thank you for bringing those in and sharing them with us. And we're almost finished Nehemiah. We have 2 more sermons. This one this week, and then one more the week after. And then we've actually decided we're going to move on to 1 John, the epistle of 1 John, and start with 1 John. So that's where we're going from there. All right. Thanks again for bringing those walls in. All right, so there you have it. That's the set I wanted to show you this time. So you can see that this is the corner of the stage where the cross used to be, actually, and it'll probably be back there very soon. And the piano is there covered with the red blanket. But now we've got this little sort of set that we've built, and you can't see it on a normal Sunday service, but you see it before the service when the children's story is read. So this Sunday, out of that chair is going to come to the children pre-service, just before the service, the children's story. That is a continuing story now, and Miriam is going to be reading it this week. So I think it's her first time doing it this week, so for the next, I think, 3 or 4 weeks, Miriam's going to be the one reading the story. So we want to share those things around and give people opportunities to do the things that will allow them to minister to the family of the church out there abroad in their living rooms through the internet as well. So that's going to happen this week. So that's our little sort of corner set that we have set up for children's story reading time. All right. So now I'm going to take you outside. I just want to show you one thing in the back there, and I'm going to ask you to imagine a little bit as I show you that piece that I want to show you there. All right, so do you know where we are here? You probably have seen this area before. I'm just going to get myself in the screen a little bit better. This is, of course, the playground that's in the back of the church. So the church is right over here. Playground is right behind me. So I want you to imagine that it's Thursday night. And this past Thursday night was a beautiful evening, as every one of our evenings have been pretty much throughout this week. And I want you to imagine that there's a campfire in the middle of this playground area, and I want you to imagine that there is gathered around that campfire 8 to 10 men, and they are sharing stories. They're talking about some of the challenges they've gone through the pandemic time and some of the things that they're facing, and sharing some fun too, some fun stories, sharing some of the things that God's doing in their lives right now. And that's what's happening here on Thursday nights. So these past couple of Thursday nights, Scott McLeod brings out a fire ring that I think he got from MacIver's, and we've got it hooked up to propane, so it's all very safe. And we have the fire going, and we gather around it in our lawn chairs. People bring a cup of coffee with them, and we sit there and we enjoy one another. We enjoy a comfortable evening. We keep our proper distances. We limit it to 10 as per the regulations for something like this, sort of a little get-together outside like this, and it's been pretty amazing. And Scott has been rotating men through this because we've got so many of them that want to be a part of it that they can't all come on one night because there'd be too many. So we're doing sort of 3 weeks in a row with groups of 10 equaling about 30 people or so, and we're just going to see how it goes. We've decided to do it here for now, but we might actually take this little show on the road a little bit and travel out to some of the different parks or whatnot in the nearby area as well. So that's part of what we're doing as well, and it's ministry that's going on. It's continuing, and we're actually very much meeting one another's needs, and that's pretty cool too. So I am just going to quickly, because something kind of cool is happening. This is new to me, of course, here in Port Alberni, though. You guys get to see this sort of thing all the time, and there I have behind me deer. They're watching me. They're watching me film. And actually, I think they're more interested in the food, but I'm surprised at how they're like tame dogs here, aren't they? And they come right up behind me here and are eating from the bushes. So that's my update for this week. Glad to be able to do this again, and I will get this posted over the next few days, probably on the weekend. And God bless you all, and again, always and constantly looking forward to the day when we can gather together again. All right? So bless you again, and have a great week.